the wrap up, last day, and it does, I'm going to warn you, it does leave on a cliffhanger, and they're going to be doing updates throughout the year. So don't think that it's me being a jerk. I'm not telling you everything. But yeah, this is where the game ended for me. So thank you so much for watching all of these. If for some reason you've started with this video and have not seen the first, I'll put a link in the description below, so please start at the beginning. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching, and I look forward to seeing all your comments. Well, today has been another crazy day. We went to the restaurant at 8:30 in the morning, and nobody even started cooking yet. People are angry, people are hungry. First there was food, now there's no food. There's a lot of confusion over it. So the Pit Fiends took it upon themselves to kidnap Mr. Top Hat Man. We had a good chat with him. He lied, he said there was food, he said there was no food, he said, you know, they were willing to work with us and do whatever system that we wanted. They're just trying to make their money as well. And we basically decided, well, that's not really good enough. And then he's saying he's not in charge, but he's been butting himself in these meetings like he is. And basically, Pit Fiends just had about enough. Cut his hand off. It got ugly really quick. And, then another fiend slit his throat, and that was it. They hung it up after. It was not good, but they felt they being taken advantage of, and I understand that. I definitely understand that. So I found out later that the restaurant decided to pay rent, and the lady who runs it inside is happy to continue running it and pay rent to the town. So that's good. That was more bullets for our fight against Steel Legion. And I was walking, and there was a maintenance team there, and I didn't really know them too well, but I recognized them as people who were familiar, and they were coming to help with some holes in the walls in the middle of the night. Folk had tore some holes in the wall. We think it's Steel Legion. They're planning on coming in multiple different places. So they went around, and I gave them rainbow to make sure they're safe, and people knew that they were one of us and helping to fix the walls, and that didn't end really well. I think they did a lot of good. They tore down our personal gates. I said we had to do it. It was fine. Tear down our gates to patch a hole in the wall near our camp. Keep them from getting in. And yeah, they did a lot of good. And then look, I didn't get a good chance to find out exactly what happened, but apparently they got killed, all but maybe one of them. And Rainbow, she was really distraught. She was really distraught. She tried to tell them they were fine, and everyone's so jumpy, and with the holes in the wall, people just popping up out of nowhere, and people not recognizing them. It's been bad. People have just gone crazy, treating refugees like they ain't even people, and paranoid. And I understand. We had some folks come in saying that they're bounty hunters looking for Widget. Oh my God! Everybody surrounded Widget, and hey, nobody get near him late last night after I did the video, and then there was some guy who was pretending to be a junker, but ain't nobody know him. He got killed. I had to look at his body and go, that ain't no junker. He ain't never been one of ours. And so paranoia is going really, really high. And things are happening that should not happen. But right now, I just needed everyone to get through to the drop. That's it. Once there's that, people can become more civilized, just a little bit. Once there's some security of food, life is going to get a little better. And then there started being a lot of prep for the battle, putting out explosives and things like that. And before we went to go try and get all that ready, said we had to do council. And sure enough, I'm very pleased to say that Widget's now part of the council. And Featherback. It was almost Frank. And Frank is amazing, and I've seen some massive changes in him. But I have a lot for him anyway. I need him going out in the wastes and helping and doing all those Frank things. So I was okay with him not being on the council at that moment. And so yeah, then we start prepping for this battle, and the faculty want to electrocute the stupid fence. And I just think it wasn't a great idea to begin with. But look, whatever helps. Whatever helps. And that's not the way my brain works. So, and the gate's nearly dead anyway. So if there's some way we could actually help protect ourselves. So they take this like little reactor thing, carry it past, and then everything hits the fan. There's something wrong with it. And next thing I hear, I have someone come in saying Frank and Snail are down there and they're right near it. And it's toxic and people are coughing up blood and all this sort of other stuff from being near it. Now, I know my boys, they're like cockroaches. I reckon Frank sleeps next to a little bit of extra radiation at night to keep him warm. Because it just feels warm and tingly to him. It doesn't do nothing. And I bet Snail's just about the same. Still don't feel good, them boys playing with stuff they don't understand. And it's all going haywire, talking about it exploding. There's radiation for everybody around. One of the, Dr. Jones, I reckon his name is, tried to go in there with his cyborg hand and a gas mask and tried to fix some stuff. And he could not handle it. You gotta realize, boy is not a junker. And he starts coughing up blood and guts are going everywhere. And he's just, the mask's deteriorated right off his darn face. It's just, yeah. I think he went into surgery and ended up coming out of it, but then later something happened down at the faculty. Anyway, I'll get to that. So I try to get Frank and Snail to come back. They won't. The faculty, they had this box that they'd trade in some refugees for with some nano something or others in it that they could basically create just about anything with this box. Snail volunteers to go and dump it in there to try and fix it. That boy's brave, but I worry. We just hear, it's gonna blow. And everyone starts running. I run all the way back to the Junkers, and I just think Frank's gone, and Snail's gone, and half the town is gone. But end up being, they thought it was gonna, but it was just it doing whatever. I don't know, I'm not a technology person. Of all my skills, that is just not one of them. I look at how people make things and it goes straight through. Like Widget today, he made what he called junk tech instead of corp tech, and I love it. It was this little thing for one of our girls, Chio's arm, to help. She was having a little tick with her arm. And yeah, this little thing just fix it right on up, and it looks pretty awesome. I gotta say it looks really good. I like the idea of junk tech. I don't know how it works. I'm not gonna argue with it, but I'm happy it's gonna be a thing. Anyway, luckily the generator was pretty much stabilized. It's still not great. I don't know if the fence is electrified or not. I'm not gonna touch it. And then in the middle of all this, right, here comes these jugger teams going, we're here for the big tournament. People win. It'll be 50 bullets. And they forced their way through the gate. So it must not have been too electrified yet. Maybe it was just hooked up to be able to. And so they come in and we put together a team with people from all of our groups, really, to fight up against them. And we won. We won Jugger, so we're going to win 50 bullets. Now, I did not hear with my own ears, but someone said they heard part of the Jugger team say, Hail the Iron Legion or something along that, or Steel Legion, whatever they call themselves. And so the pit fiends just killed them all. I think a few townfolk got killed in the middle of it in the confusion, which just makes me sick. Like, those are our folk. But a big thing happened. Uncle Boss handed me the box of the 50 bullets. Me. Now, this showed so much trust that we never had before. I can't remember a time when all the different groups got on so well, so I divvied them up. I made sure everyone got the 10 bullets for our insiders, all our factions inside. There's 5 of us and 50 bullets. That was the only good part. Okay, so I also got to announce my 2IC to everybody, Hess, and I think he'll do a right good job. I saw Doc, and Bird made these little medals. I don't think you can see, it's like a button with a little feather, and he's been giving them out to some of the other junkers as little presents, and I asked him for one to give to Doc because I reckon he deserved it, and he was really proud and just about cried. It was beautiful. It's good to get those good moments in there and cherish them. Well, look, and then they came, and it was bloody and it was brutal, and by the time I even knew it was happening, it was just about over. A lot of people went down, but I don't think very many people died. The STA folks weren't around as much as they should have been, and they said they were patrolling outside and were able to minimize the numbers coming in. But people are still really sus on them. We're still waiting on that drop. 4 o'clock. That's what I'm going to after this. We were all recovering, and I saw Uncle Boss, and he had to take stims to make it through that battle, and he had blood in his mouth and crazed look in his eye. We're all standing around talking after about the STA folks, and one of his stabs him and injects him with something, and he just goes crazy, and he takes down the dean of the faculty, and he's just taking people down left and right. And he hit Widget, and Widget went down, and I yelled to someone to drag him and get him to safety, stabilize him, and I stood in between Uncle Boss, looking crazier than he's ever looked, and trying to tell him to stop. And that's not the man he is anymore. But it was too late. Folks were shooting him, and I shot him. I had to protect Widget. And I looked to my left, and Bug was down too. A lot of people were down. Luckily, someone had dragged Widget and just left him there. Luckily, Rory came up and stabilized him, and I think it saved his life. He probably only would have had seconds left, and somebody came up and slit the throat of the dean. He's one of the fiends. And in the end, the folks that took out Uncle Boss were his own. He begged them for it as he was lying, bleeding to death on the ground. And they cooked up his body, and everybody had a bit, and that's the way he would have liked it. Now, I ain't one for eating folk, but out of respect, I might have had a very small bite. Out of respect. I never imagined that he'd be an ally, but he was in the end. And he did a lot to change and fix for his people to get them through. Now, luckily, all mine lived through that fight. But that man, the one who slit Dean's throat, because Dean ain't coming back. He has to answer for it. He has to answer for it. Now, we had a moment, and the mutants had come up and said, now's the time. Let's get rid of them. That's it. Their numbers are down, and they've done something really horrible, and we can do it. And I just looked, and I knew that would fracture everything. But they had to stand by the new rules. So, found the new 2IC, came with 8-Ball from the militia, Viper, and Dr. Nathan. I just kind of yelled at him. I said, until you guys get your stuff together, you are the person I'm seeing as the new dean. You can come correct me after you've done however you guys do, but for now, you are my person. And the fiends agreed. They had to change. They were going to stand by what Uncle Boss said and did, and they were going to hand over the man who killed the dean. So that's all taken care of, and we didn't have to kill them. There was that moment, and there were almost no more fiends. I saw Widget get healed, and he healed in a way that I don't think should have been healed, and I cornered him about it later, and he explained it, and it makes sense, and well, that's all I gotta say about that, I guess. I just worry. He's very delicate, and he means a lot to all of us. Now, I got together with all the Junkers, explained what it meant to be part America 2.0, what I signed, what the hope for the future is, make sure they're all behind it, and they were. The outsider folk said they were leaving before the drop. They're off to their next place, and they offered us to come with them. Well, at least me, maybe all the Junkers, I'm not too sure. I said, this was our place, this is what we're doing, and we're going to fix it, we're going to stay. But hopefully they'll come back next year. And Frank, he came and told me he was going with them. Now this cut me to my very core. But he wants to know what happens when America 2.0 comes out. What happens 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 2 years down the road. So he's going to travel with them till they come back next year. And he's going to get all that intelligence, and he's coming back, and he's still a Junker. He's still one of us. And he says it's like a long trip in the waste. It's really hard for me to say that's okay, but I understand why he's doing it. Now, he has a paranoid mind, we know it. But I think he's starting to turn it to try and help the Junkers. So I support that. We did ask the outsiders to bring, we want extra things to make our own crops, and a few other things that we really need to keep progressing. So we gave them wish lists of stuff to come back with next year, and hopefully they will. Went over to faculty, and they'd made their decision. I guess it was quite close, but Dr. Nathan's the new dean. Now, I don't know if that's what he'll be called, but I don't know if he'll be able to fight it. A couple folk have started calling me Mama Cornelius, and, well, I hate it. If it helps them grieve, and if that's what they want to do, I don't think I can fight it. I'm fighting it for now. But sometimes you know when you got a losing battle. Sometimes you know. But I don't take her place. I can't. Nobody could. But I'll do my best to help preserve what she created. 'Cause she created Junkers. Now finally, I had a little proposition. It was very interesting. Viper from the Mutants wanted to solidify our friendship and our alliance. And he offered a proposal of marriage. And while he is a lovely fella, I am already married. And I explained that to him. Back when I just did trade, I traded for a husband. Because I felt I could not trust just anybody to not be able to be bought, bribed, whatever it was. So yeah, I figured the only way I could trust someone was if his interests were mine. So I gave him a wife, and he became my bodyguard / husband, and that's Rory. Now we ain't the lovey-dovey kind, but it is, and he respected that. So that was okay. They might move their camp a little closer to ours, which would be nice. And we're going to be working with the faculty to come up with some better crops and things like that, and some bigger projects, because we keep working on our own things, but if we kind of unite, we can make just about anything. With my wastelanders going out getting lots of good stuff, and they're good noggins, I reckon we'll do some good things. That's all I've got time for. Got to make it over to the drop. It's coming in now. So, say a little prayer to Oprah, and praise be to Oprah that everything will turn out okay.